The sun beat down on a parched plain, casting long shadows and creating an almost unbearable heat that shimmered off the ground. Dust swirled under a sky thick with anticipation, as if the very air itself was holding its breath for what was to come. Two vast armies faced each other, their banners fluttering in the wind, each soldier knowing that today could be their last. It was the 20th of July, 1402, outside the walls of Ankara, a city that had seen many battles but none quite like this. The earth trembled under the weight of assembled might, the ground shaking as thousands of soldiers marched into position. The air crackled with tension, a palpable sense of impending conflict that hung over the battlefield like a dark cloud. To the west stood the Ottoman army, a formidable force that had expanded its reach across continents. They were heirs to a new empire, confident and ruthless, their eyes gleaming with the promise of victory. Their banners adorned with the crescent moon and star, rippled in the breeze, a symbol of their unyielding resolve. This was the army of Sultan Bayezid I, the Thunderbolt, a leader known for his swiftness and ferocity in battle. Facing them, a force that seemed to stretch to the horizon, an almost endless sea of warriors. This was the army of Timur, the Sword of Islam, a conqueror whose name struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. Their banners, a blaze of black and gold, bore the mark of the Timurid dynasty, a legacy of conquest and power. They were a whirlwind of destruction that had swept out of the east, leaving a trail of shattered kingdoms in their wake, unstoppable and relentless. The fate of an empire hung in the balance. The outcome of this battle would shape the future of nations. The fate of two continents would be decided on this dusty field, a place that would be remembered for centuries to come. The clash of steel was inevitable, the sound of swords meeting in a deadly dance. Two empires, two visions, two indomitable wills were about to collide, each determined to emerge victorious. The world held its breath, waiting for the moment when history would be made. Bayezid, the Ottoman Sultan, was a ruler forged in war. His life was a testament to the relentless pursuit of power and dominance. He was a warrior king, a leader of men, who inspired loyalty and fear in equal measure. His ambition was as boundless as the steps of his ancestors, driving him to expand his realm ever further. He had carved out an empire with his sword, stretching from the Balkans to the Euphrates, a testament to his military prowess and strategic acumen. Across the battlefield stood his nemesis, a formidable opponent who matched his ambition and ruthlessness. Timur, the Emir of Samarkand, was a conqueror on an epic scale whose name struck fear across continents. He was a master strategist whose campaigns were meticulously planned and executed with precision. He was a ruthless pragmatist, unyielding in his quest for dominance. His empire dwarfed even that of the Ottomans, stretching from Delhi to Damascus, a vast expanse under his control. Timur saw himself as the restorer of Genghis Khan's legacy, a mantle he wore with pride and ferocity. He was a whirlwind of destruction, a force of nature that reshaped the political landscape of Asia with his campaigns. He was known for his chilling ruthlessness, leaving pyramids of skulls as grim monuments to his victories, a stark reminder of his power. Both men were masters of war, their lives defined by the battles they fought and the empires they built. Both were driven by an insatiable hunger for power, their ambitions knowing no bounds. But their visions were fundamentally opposed, each seeing the world through a different lens. This was more than a battle for land or treasure. It was a confrontation that would determine the future of their empires. It was a clash of ideologies, a struggle for the soul of Islam, a battle that would echo through the ages. The Ottoman Empire was a rising power in the 14th century. From humble beginnings in Anatolia, they had expanded rapidly, fueled by the fervor of their warriors and the vision of their leaders. They were the new champions of Islam, pushing westward into Europe. Each generation built upon the successes of its predecessors. They conquered the Byzantine Empire piece by piece. They crushed their enemies with relentless efficiency. Victory followed victory, culminating in Bayezid's reign. Bayezid's ambition knew no bounds. He dreamed of restoring the Roman Empire under the banner of Islam. He saw himself as the heir to Caesar and Saladin. He laid siege to Constantinople, the jewel of Byzantium. He aimed to make it the capital of his new empire. But Bayezid's rise to power had not gone unnoticed. His growing empire and his ambition alarmed the rulers of the East. Among them, Timur watched and waited. Timur was not content with his vast empire. He craved more than just land and treasure. He desired recognition as the true heir to Genghis Khan. He wanted to be feared and respected throughout the known world. The rise of the Ottomans was an affront to his ambitions. He saw them as upstarts, unworthy of the power they had amassed. He viewed Bayezid's expansion as a direct challenge to his authority. When Bayezid started to harass Timur's allies, it was the perfect excuse. Timur decided to teach the Ottoman Sultan a lesson. He would crush this upstart empire and remind the world of his own unmatched power. In 1400, Timur set his army in motion. His objective was clear: to confront and destroy Bayezid and his Ottoman hordes. He marched westwards, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. Section 5, Clash of Titans. The Battle of Ankara Unfolds. The two armies finally met on the plains outside Ankara. It was a clash of civilizations, a meeting of two unstoppable forces. The earth trembled under the weight of their combined might. The air was thick with the stench of sweat, fear, and anticipation. Bayezid's army was formidable. He had Turkish cavalry, famed for their speed and ferocity. He had Serbian heavy infantry, a solid wall of steel. He had cannons, a new and terrifying weapon of war. But Timur was a master of strategy. He had planned this campaign for months. He knew the terrain. He understood his enemy's strengths and weaknesses. The battle began with a storm of arrows. Timur's mounted archers, masters of the composite bow, rained down deadly volleys. They harassed the Ottoman lines, softening them up for the main assault. Bayezid, known for his impulsive nature, took the bait. He ordered his cavalry to charge, hoping to break Timur's lines before they could fully deploy. It was a mistake. The clash was brutal, with soldiers engaging in fierce hand-to-hand combat. The battlefield was a chaotic scene of clashing steel and desperate cries. Commanders on both sides shouted orders, trying to maintain control amidst the chaos. The fate of empires hung in the balance. As the dust and smoke rose, the true scale of the battle became evident. It was a fight for survival, a test of wills and strategies. Section 6, Wheels of Fate, Key Moments and Turning Points. As the Ottoman cavalry charged, Timur's trap sprang. The Timurid army parted, allowing the Ottomans to plunge deep into their ranks. Then, they closed ranks behind them, surrounding the Ottoman cavalry. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered, the Ottoman cavalry fought with the courage of desperation. But they were trapped. They were cut down by wave after wave of Timurid soldiers. Meanwhile, the main Ottoman force watched in horror. Their sultan, their leader, had ridden into a trap. Their cavalry, the pride of their army, was being slaughtered. Seizing the moment, Timur unleashed his reserves. Fresh troops slammed into the demoralized Ottoman lines. The Ottomans, leaderless and betrayed, began to crumble. Bayezid, seeing the battle was lost, tried to rally his men, but it was too late. The day was lost. Section 7, The Empire Broken, Aftermath and Legacy. The Battle of Ankara was a crushing defeat for the Ottomans. Their army was destroyed. Their sultan was captured. Their dreams of empire lay in ruins. Bayezid was taken prisoner by Timur. Legend has it that he was paraded around in a cage, a humiliating end for a ruler who had once seemed invincible. He died in captivity a year later, his empire shattered. The Ottoman Empire, on the verge of greatness, was plunged into chaos. Bayezid's sons fought each other for the remnants of his empire. It would take decades for them to recover from this devastating defeat. The Battle of Ankara marked a turning point in the history of the Middle East. It shattered the illusion of Ottoman invincibility. It delayed their conquest of Constantinople by half a century. It reshaped the balance of power in the region. Section 8, Echoes of Ankara, Long-Term Impacts. The impact of the Battle of Ankara resonated for generations. The Ottoman Empire, though severely weakened, eventually recovered, but the memory of their defeat served as a cautionary tale for future sultans. Timur's victory, though decisive, was short-lived. He died a few years later, his vast empire dissolving as quickly as it had arisen. His dream of restoring Genghis Khan's empire died with him. The Battle of Ankara serves as a reminder of the fickle nature of fate. It shows how quickly fortunes can change on the battlefield. It highlights the importance of leadership, strategy, and a little bit of luck. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Ankara is the question it continues to pose. What if Bayezid had won? How would the course of history have been altered? Section 9, A Question of Fate, What If? The Battle of Ankara is a tantalizing what-if moment in history. It forces us to contemplate the fragility of empires and the unpredictable nature of war. It challenges us to imagine alternative paths, to consider the ripple effects of a single event. What if Bayezid, the thunderbolt, had triumphed over Timur, the sword of Islam? Would Constantinople have fallen to the Ottomans a half-century earlier? Would the Ottoman Empire have expanded even further, reaching deeper into Europe and Asia? Would the Renaissance have been stifled by the shadow of a vast Islamic empire? Would the course of Western civilization have been irrevocably altered? These questions, though unanswerable, fuel our fascination with history. They remind us that the world we live in is not preordained. It is the product of countless choices, chances, and clashes of will. The Battle of Ankara, with its dramatic clash of empires and its enduring legacy, serves as a powerful reminder of this enduring truth.